How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Mashanddrum Whiskey Room. I am Jason C, and if you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back again. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for the latest in whiskey and bourbon news and reviews, come to the right place. So think about hitting that subscribe button below and hitting that bell notification so you know when I'm putting out a new video. Today, really excited, we have Deanston 12, which has kind of had a big resurgence in the last few years here. What I'm really excited about is one of my favorite channels that I watch, Roy at Aquavite. I'll leave his link down in the about section there in the description. You guys can check him out. If you haven't yet, you're missing out on an amazing channel. Roy is the best. He was one of the guys mainly that he's talked about this whiskey for a long time, how great it is, how much he loves it. He actually told me when I was getting into scotch, which was only in September, when I really started trying a lot of different scotches, that this was the one that I really needed to try, especially coming from a more of a bourbon background. So let's get ready to get into it. Alright guys, so a little bit about Deanston before we begin here. Deanston's story begins with the opening of a cotton mill, known at the time as Adelphi. Chosen for its location on the banks of the River Teith, the mill would provide the perfect setting for an innovative new community of craftsmen. In 1785, the Deanston Cotton Mill opened its doors. It was designed by one of the fathers of the Industrial Revolution. His name was Richard Arkwright. Deanston was at the forefront of a new beginnings as Scotland moved from agriculture to industrialization. The mill flourished, and as the workforce grew, so did the need for accommodations. So the owners saw the opportunity to create a self-contained village, and so in 1808 they built housing for 300 workers, which still form the center of Deanston today. Due to its prime location on the banks of the River Teith, a lathe and water wheels were installed in 1830 to power the machinery in the spinning mill and weaving shed. The wheels were named Samson and Hercules, the latter being the largest in Europe at the time, measuring over 36 feet high. In 1949, the historic and long-running commitment to sustainable energy was secured with the installation of new electrical turbines, which to this day provides all of their electricity using water from the river and the original lathe. So what's amazing is today, Deanston still continues to draw its power from the River Teith, with the turbine processing some 20 million liters of water every hour, creating far more power than could ever be needed on site in the distillery. In fact, a whopping 75% of the electricity created is sent to the national grid in Scotland. When the cotton industry declined, though, the workforce at Deanston Mill gradually decreased before it closed its doors. But in 1965, rather than signaling the end of an era, this heralded a new beginning and a new craft distillery that opened for the local community. In the years following the mill's conversion to the distillery, the community would learn the new craft of distilling and commit to hard work and innovation by producing the very first bottle of Deanston Highland Single Malt Scotch Whiskey in 1974. So in doing some more research, guys, what I also found out is that Deanston has kind of long flown under the radar of many whiskey fans. Deanston is a fairly young distillery, having been founded in 1966, which is young by Scotland distillery standards. For most of its history, Deanston single malts have been either relatively hard to find or poorly regarded, usually both, unfortunately. But after the distillery was purchased in 1990 by Burn Stewart, who also owns Bunnahabhain and Tobermory, Deanston has slowly but steadily been gaining traction in the single malt world. Over the last few years in particular, Deanston seems to be more readily available and has gained quite a number of fans in the whiskey circles. The whiskey produced on site is bottled at 46.3% ABV as a standard, and the use of caramel coloring or chill filtration is strictly avoided, which is awesome. Alright guys, so one other thing to note is, as you can see here, I have another bottle of Deanston. This is the Deanstonvirginoak, which is just another one of their core range offerings. But as you can see, the label looks a little bit different, and it comes in this this cardboard box. What they've done recently is shift over to this look, where the packaging is a little bit more updated, and it comes in more of a classy canister, which I really like a lot. So while you guys are getting a closer look at the bottle, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what's inside. So Deanston stands in Doon, Scotland, which is about 15-minute drive from the city of Stirling. Deanston talks about the water from the River Teith as being perfect for making whiskey. With help from the original lathe used by the mill, the water is directed towards the distillery for use in production and powering the turbines. They use Scottish-grown crops, meaning all of their malted barley is sourced from local farmers only before being milled and then tested by hand to ensure the perfect mix of quick and slow natural sugars. Now, the hands-on craftsmanship that Deanston puts into every bottle is one of the reasons I think why Deanston has experienced such a new respect and love for their Scotch whiskey. All right, guys, so as I mentioned here, this Deanston is bottled at 46.3% ABV. It's aged 12 years, exclusively in ex-bourbon barrels, and it's non-chill filtered. I also purchased this for about $60. That was in Michigan, and I did see this bottle actually in Kentucky for about $155, which I thought was a mistake, but it was actually the price of it. So word about this bottle is definitely getting around. So let's move this a little bit and let's get this open. Oh, beautiful pop. All right, so now I got the cork here. Ooh, smell, wow. Wow, that smells really interesting. Okay, let's go in for a pour here. All right, there's a nice pour. All right, and first let's go into the color, guys. It's a really nice gold color, amber gold. Oh, it's got good legs on it. It's really coating the glass nicely. I'm sure that non-chill filtration really kind of plays a part in that a little bit. Really nice. But as I learned in my Scotch journey, that color really doesn't play a huge factor, because I've had real dark Scotches and real light ones, and some of the flavor profiles are just off the charts, even on the lighter ones. So really don't go by color too much. So let's get into the nose here. Wow, this is a really, really nice honey and orange marmalade nose on here. There's a slight kind of grassy note on here I'm getting as well, but it's not off-putting. A little bit of hint of vanilla. That one flavor that I love, that I always get on Scotches, is like that crispy breakfast toast. Really good. This is like toast with honey and marmalade all on top of it. Really nice, but you are getting that little bit of like a grassy, earthy note to it. It's very slight. All right, really good nose, really well-rounded, mostly sweet. All right, let's get into the palate, guys. Cheers. Here we go. Ooh. Wow. Okay. That did not finish the way I expected it to finish from the beginning of the palate. That finished really nice. So tons of caramel and honey up front. Wow, it's really mouth coating too, that non-chill filtration. I really like the higher ABV on it because I could feel it going down a little bit. That's nice. All right, I'm gonna go in for that second sip and try to pull out some flavors. Here we go. Okay, so I'm getting more of the, let's start from the beginning here. Okay, so it's kind of taking me everywhere. So I have tons of honey on the front, caramel. There's a really nice, that citrus note that's on the palate as well. It's coming through to me now. I was saying orange on the nose, but I'm tasting a little bit more tart there. I think it's a little bit more of a lemon flavor, I would think. It's really good. It's almost like lemon curd on toast. That's really nice. Really good. All right, I'm going up for another sip here, guys. Yeah, there's some really beautiful honey flavor coming through here. Then you get that really nice little vanilla there that's kind of mixed in. Such a really nice mouthfeel. It's almost silky, like silky smooth, which is the way it coats your palate. Wow, that's really good. And then right on the end, you're getting that grassy note that I was getting on the nose, like a grassy or hay type scent or flavor. almost like earthy almost. But to me, it's not off-putting. I just feel like it's a nice balance of the sweet and kind of the earthiness that you get in a lot of scotches, at least the ones that I've tasted. It's really nice. All right, guys, let's go in for one last sip here. Oh man, the flavor in that, just so good. Now, as a bourbon lover, I'm really liking this dram because I am picking up those flavors. A little bit of that, the vanilla, the caramels are coming through. But then you're getting that nice sweet oak in there with that little burst of lemon or citrus. My mind is still trying to figure out if it's orange or lemon. I'm leaning towards lemon. I think that's what I'm getting. But then you are getting that nice maltiness on the end, that nice malt that you get from a really good scotch, and it's so mouth coating. It's really making me want to drink more. It's really good. And then it's finishing with that grassy, but again, a really strong honey flavor. It's really, really good. Really nice balance. And I am loving the proof on this. I think the non-chill filtered and the higher proof really makes a difference. And for $50 to $60 a bottle, this is a steal. And I'm thinking now that as I try scotch more, I am pretty much liking scotch as I like my bourbon, which is non-chill filtered and a higher proof. So this definitely fits the bill for what I really like to drink. This is great. So I want to say thanks again to Roy for turning me on to this, because this is absolutely delicious. All right, guys, well, thanks again for dropping by and watching the Mashanddrum Whiskey Room for today's episode. Really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please find me on Instagram or find me on Twitter. Leave a comment. I love talking with you guys. Let me know if you've had this, what you think, what your opinions are. I think this is an amazing scotch, especially for the price. I'm really loving it, and glad you can share it with me for a little while. And as I always say, it is not about the whiskey, it is the people you share it with. So cheers, everyone, and I am going to drink a lot more of this. So cheers. Take care, guys.